Hey, good evening. It's 9:36 p.m. It is Wednesday evening, and I am. It's also May 7th. Okay, so it's Wednesday evening, and I have been working on a different project. I worked on my project earlier. My moral reset project, but I wanted to kind of mess around with the tarot cards because I want to create a new spread. Okay, it's more about getting fine-tuned details relating to my original life, my original past life, the very first one, the very first time I actually stepped foot on the earth, right? Anyway, so I'm kind of like assigning different interpretations and stuff like that. So I was kind of playing around with my cards, and I got some information inadvertently through the cards, even though I did wasn't asking a question. But what I was coming to understand is that um, I understand the situation that I was in was very exploitative. And, I deal with a lot of immoral people, starting with Rex Laverne, and then, of course, him organizing stuff, thinking that this was my career, that he could organize my career. He could call the shots as to who benefited from my work and who did. I mean, I'm going to tell you, this to me was an absolute nightmare. How people, placed me in this situation, and he set criterias for me to have access or me to have my own money. Now, I was playing around with these cards, and I got these messages, and I realized that this was not talking about my past life. It's more talking about my present life. Now, um, I was going into my my concerns about, what am I going to do? How am I going to proceed? I want to see a difference in my work. I want to see my work being presented. I want to see feedback from my work. I want to see, um, you know, you know, people responding to my stuff. And I understand that I've had, intruders on my social media, and I also do believe that my money has been filtered or funneled illegally to people, and I think it was distributed to my original birth family. Now, this is illegal, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why I'm very angry about it. Number one, I was given up for adoption, okay? And I do also know that she was somebody who, and I'm extremely traumatized just by coming to know this information. I was given up for adoption. I was placed with the Gordon family. Okay, I do think that a lot of people know who my birth mother is. Okay, she was a famous Motown singer, and she is still alive today. And I do have what do you call it? A twin. Now, I do believe that Rex Laverne, because he's very ignorant, okay, he might have allowed this family to benefit financially from my work, knowing how important my work was. My family, my blood family, I do understand that the majority of these people are entertainers. They had absolutely no right touching my stuff. That is not my family. I mean, I understand that I am a clone, okay, and I understand that they needed a birth mother in order to bring me about, but legally, she has no right to touch my stuff. No right at all. Okay. And I believe that this message came through like the newsreels that are, about me, that might be somehow benefiting that family. And I do believe that things like my Patreon, unfortunately, has benefited this family. All because of someone making up rules about religion. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I do not have any heartfelt feelings for my family, my blood family, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't know these people, and I also do not really respect somebody who would be willing to watch their birth child struggle, be frustrated, and have to rely on public services such as, me negotiating my bill with PG&E and living on food stamps and everything else, while she benefits from my hard-earned money. That is bullshit. Okay, so what we have is we have human trafficking, which is a form of slavery. Okay, and who is this benefiting? Certainly not me. And people can make up the rules and say, oh, well, I'm of this particular religion, therefore, oh, no, okay, what was the message that I got in my reading? The reason, here's their logic, okay? The logic is that, well, because I chose not to get married, therefore I'm not entitled to my own work, and therefore we're going to go get and give this money over to my birth mother. Okay, maybe because my birth mother pretends to be a Christian or something. Okay, now I'm angry. I'm very angry right now. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now, in the future, Diana Ross and the rest of the family, don't you dare touch my stuff. Don't you dare think that you have any sort of entitlement. To me, you are demonstrating how cruel you really are. As I'm sitting here worried about my bills, worried about how am I going to take care of myself, what's going to happen, whatever, and then you're sitting here living the lap of luxury off of my back. What the hell is wrong with you? See, when I first found out that she was my birth mother, I wanted to contact her, and then something told me, you know what? This is not the kind of person that I would want to consider my family. You know why? Because I would never do something like that. To me, a mother is supposed to be protective of her child. You have failed to do that. And you certainly are not. See, this to me, in order for you to accept that money, you are the lowest scum of the earth. You are the lowest scum of the earth. And no, I do not respect you. And I have every right to say the things that I'm saying. Now, what the message I'm getting is like, please forgive us. We're sorry we didn't treat you better. Okay, but you're not. What you're sorry is that you got caught. And see, this is what I'm saying about people. Okay, people and they're acting as if they're repentant, and people acting like they're sorry. I see right through that. Okay, if you were sorry, this would have never happened in the first place. Period. Okay, here's the thing. You do not touch things that do not belong to you. I am not legally your daughter. Legally, I am not your daughter. I grew up with I got a birth certificate. My parents were my legal guardians until I was 18 years old. And that's it. Okay? Right now, I do not have any family other than my son, Houston. That is it. Okay, now if Houston wants to have a relationship with the Ross family or whatever, then that's his choice. Okay, that's his choice. He's over the age of 18, right? But I have not benefited from anything. To me, I am just appalled at who you are as a person. I am appalled. Okay, and no, you do not have any legal rights to sit here and think, oh, I'm going to help myself to what Maria creates. And I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that the spirit of my father, the whole thing about, catching him on screen or whatever. Okay, the thing about these celebrities, okay, and there's some of the celebrity people that I'm really cool with because I grew up listening to them, and I respect them and I admire them and whatever, okay. But the thing is like some of you guys are just immoral, okay. If you did not create something, it is not yours. It is not yours to negotiate. It is not yours to sell. It is not yours to attach to your business or anything else. It's my work. It's my work. So while I'm sitting here, to me, I'm so, you know what? I don't even know what to say right now. I don't even know what to say other than I'm utterly disgusted. Why would anybody think that that is okay? It is not okay. It is not okay. That money from Patreon and Ko-fi was mine. It's mine. Okay? And see, I am so tired of immoral people thinking that they could get stuff. And then, in their mind, in their delusional mind, thinking that their compensation is right. First of all, I was not there to make any sort of agreement as to how my work or my creations were supposed to be negotiated. Okay? Weren't supposed to be negotiated. You know why? Because that work is mine. Okay? I'm talking about my Patreon, my Ko-fi, my Swan Song Manifesto newsletter. All that is mine. Okay? It's mine. All of it. Every single last bit of it. Okay? And while that might have generated money, then you think that you can just, that it's fair for you to steal my stuff and then manipulate some sort of thing to get me a job and think that that's fair. No, that is illegal. Okay? You have no right. And yes, of course, I'm just absolutely disgusted by who these people are. You know what I mean? And then, see, and this is why I'm saying when people tell me that they're sorry for the things that they've done, after they've done all this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is why, when okay, I hate talking about the Bible, I really do, especially at this point, but the stories somehow are appropriate, okay? This is one of the reasons why God did not forgive, Judas, okay? Because he knew what he was doing, okay? This mother, or this, real mother of mine, knew what she was doing. It's not like she didn't know that I was sitting here strapped for cash during this time. She didn't know that I was sitting here going to lose my credit card, my good credit that I worked for and everything. She stole from me. Okay? She's a thief is what she is. So a couple nights ago, I remember I was on Facebook and I saw this feed of her, right? She was wearing this white gown, had a long train, and something popped into my mind like, if I was her, how in the world does she show her face in public? If I was somebody who put my kid in one of these programs, right, and then all the shit that I had to go through, and she's sitting here smiling in the camera, bitch, you fucking bitch. And you want to know how I really feel about, of all the fucking Motown singers, I'm going to tell you what, I have never liked her that much. I mean, she was okay, but when I think about, okay, Maria, I'm being petty. I'm just being angry right now, okay? But I really, she's never been my favorite Motown singer. Okay, but anyway. It's the fact that is mine. And we have these religious people, right, who want to make up rules. See, this is why I believe that this country was established the way that it is, because religious people are some of the most immoral people you can ever imagine. They like to make up rules as they go along. This woman, as much, and her family, are entitled to zero. They are entitled to zero. Nothing. Okay? If I chose to, okay, as an adult, if I chose to, because my parents raised me, if I was to generate money, and because my parents raised me, okay, if I chose to, I could compensate them and say, you know what, thank you, Mom and Dad, I'm going to buy you a house or whatever, okay, if I had that kind of money, mind you, okay, because that's my choice. I'm over the 18, that's my money, okay? She should be in jail, is what she should be in. Her and her children. Okay, they don't bother talking to me, but they're sitting here willing to steal from me. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, I am so angry right now. Like, it's just every fucking thing. These people are so ruthless. These monsters. It's like, if I was somebody who put my child up for adoption because knowing good and well that I was King Solomon or C.V. Berganza or whatever. Oh, I can't handle it. I'm going to give you up now because I can't handle it. But I'll come back and take your goddamn money. Oh, my God. I've read articles about people, talking about how they don't like Diana Ross and stuff like that. And I just take it with a grain of salt, But now I get it. Okay, you are morally corrupt is what you are, among a bunch of other people, okay? But no. I'm cutting you off. No, you are not entitled to anything that I have. At all. Okay? Now, I do get the feeling that she gets some sort of money from the newsreels that go on about me. I can't control that. Okay? I have no control over that whatsoever. But you do not touch my creations. You do not touch my creations. Okay? That is bullshit. You know what I mean? You are wicked. You are fucking wicked. I cannot believe I came out of your slimy cunt, you stupid bitch. Oh my God, I'm so angry right now. I am so fucking angry right now. Okay, wait a second. Anyway, I'm getting some intuitive messages. Yes, people believe that I can improve work culture. Donald Trump is on my side about my decisions. Yeah, you know what, Mr. Trump, I'm sorry, President Trump, Nobody gets my stuff. Okay, I'm sorry, but this is wrong, and I don't. This is wrong. I don't know who thought that this was okay, but it's wrong. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you who thinks it's okay. Possibly Rex Laverne and people who have their hand out. When people want something, you know, they'll sit there and like go through all kinds of like cognitive dissonance and stuff like that and mind games to try to convince themselves that what they're doing is not stealing. It's stealing. It's stealing. Okay? Do not touch my stuff ever again. Ever again. You know, if you guys are so talented, go make your money. Be an actor, a singer, whatever it is you guys do, you know what I mean? But I am not your cash cow, okay? I'm shocked that what you did, you would be so bold to do that. See, I'm glad you put me up for adoption. You know why? Because I would not want to be raised like that. I don't want to be an immoral person because that's exactly what you are. And yes, I am dealing with trauma, okay? I'm dealing with trauma from a bunch of low-life people. Okay, and that's my biggest issue with religion. Religion is, you know, people want to abuse religion so that they can get stuff that they want, so they can exploit people. Okay, Diana Ross, her family has no business touching my money at all, at all. And yeah, I mean, I'm just like so shocked, you know. And then I'm sitting here looking at these pictures of her on social media, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I have no respect for you. Absolutely no respect whatsoever. You know? And I'm tired of dealing with people who think that it's okay. It's not okay to sit here and take my stuff and then get in my face. It's just not. Okay? Now, I'm creating the moral reset, and this is a form of philanthropy, meaning like I'm giving this to the state or whatever. You know, but anything else that I create, I am trying my best to make something, to make a nest egg for myself. I don't need some bitch coming in and stealing my shit. Okay, and don't sit here and try to act like you're going to get offended by it or whatever. Let me tell you something, Diana Ross. What I'm telling you, I have every right to say. Okay? There is no excuse for you for what you did other than the fact that you're evil. You are fucking evil. Okay? You're exactly the kind of person that I'm like ashamed to say I'm your fucking daughter. Seriously, okay? I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of the exploitation. You know, that was my money, okay? And you sat there, and you're sitting here smiling in front of the camera, just so proud to be a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, I'm disgusted. You know, and I believe that Donald Trump is watching this, okay? I do support you. Thank you for your support. I feel like you're around, okay? Somehow I feel like I'm tapping into your... and I'm sorry to bring you into this argument, but I cannot tell you the hurt that I feel right now. I cannot. You know what I mean? It's like, how could you sit here? I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm lost for words. I really am, okay? But anyway, I was working on a new spread. I'm working on one about the past life of different people. And I'm also interested in creating a spread about alien races. You know, I'm interested in this. Okay, so this was my project, my little step away. Let me lay on my bed, play with some cards here, and see if I can create something. And then I ended up finding about this, and now I'm really pissed. I'm pissed, okay? Very pissed. Anyway, I did get a message. It says, Elon Musk associates music with me. Like, there must be certain songs and stuff like that. I don't know why that popped in my head, but that's kind of cool. I think he's so cute. Anyway, going back to being pissed off, yes, I am very pissed off. I'm very pissed off right now, and I'm hurt. I am very hurt, you know, because this is what I'm talking about. People who have skewed logic. Okay, like, you know what, in their mind, this is another thing I got. You know, when I was doing the reading on stupid-ass Rex Laverne, who I'm very glad is dead, okay, I picked up that in his mind, this is his logic and reasoning. He was thinking, okay, well, marijuana is legal. It would be legal with you if you existed or not. You know what I mean? Like, see, this is how I understood that he was crazy. And, you know, I'm talking about mental illness in the in the moral reset, because I understand, you know, a lot of people are mentally ill. You know what I mean? And it shows in their logic and their skewed logic And just like, I seriously, why would, if I asked my my birth mother, what made you think that you could help yourself to my money? What her answer would be? What would she say? What would her response be? And I'm thinking, okay, um, she doesn't really have one. She knows that I'm somebody who is successful. She knows throughout my other past lives as CB Berganza and stuff like that, I had a name, okay? So she's fine with not being able to put up with me because of the paranormal activity that goes on in her house, but the bitch is ready and willing to gain and get some sort of monetary benefit from me when she's done nothing. She hasn't lifted a finger in my life one bit. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. People who exploit people who benefit from it. Okay, and first of all, I also want to say that my adoptive family kind of, benefited from me in some ways because, from what I understand, some of the cards that I'm designing, one is called the Burden Babies, right? Because I got the intuitive message, not through cards, but through my intuition, that this is how kids get introduced into these systems, right? People like maybe a church or something will say, okay, well, Maria or C.B. Berganza in his past life never became, a born again Christian. So, we're going to put the responsibility on you to, take care of this kid, this clone, so that they will eventually be a part of the church at some point or repent or whatever. And it's completely unnecessary, okay? Because people could have a spiritual connection, go on to the afterlife without this unnecessary process of cloning. So, of course, people will do it so they get benefits from it. They get employment and stuff like that to help raise the kid or whatever. Much like the foster care system, right? But see, that's exploitation. That's exploitation. You know what I mean? This is one of the reasons why my mother, Mary Gordon, my adoptive mother, right, always treated me different than Lisa. This is one of the reasons why she turned into a cold-hearted bitch when I was reaching out for her help back in 2020. Okay, this tends to be a very common thing among clones. Because I know the girl who I used to talk to in Ridgecrest, she was experiencing some, marital problems, right? So she went to her mom's house, hoping that to be received and warm, be hugged and cared for and say, hey, honey, this is your home. Anytime, we're here for you. We're here to support you. They were giving her that same look like, fuck, I don't know you. But we already got what we needed out of you, so, you can just keep moving on. So, of course, she was devastated, right? The thing is that, but people are willing to abuse you and get things from you. And this is something that I've noticed about welfare mothers. And, I am not in favor of the exploitation. Because, however you look at it, it's a form of slavery. It's wrong, okay? And, I am very, very hurt right now. I'm very hurt that, I have been around nothing but evil my entire life. I have been around the most immoral people, the most selfish people, the most greedy people, and the most delusional people, okay? Like, no, here it is. This is the way it is, okay? If it's not yours, you do not touch it. If you do not create it, you do not take credit for it. You don't touch things that do not belong to you. I don't know how in the world, I know. They'll try to convince themselves, okay? You don't take things, you respect people's property, you respect people's space, you respect their reputation. I have always made it on my own. Meaning, like, I don't sit here and copy, my coworkers' stuff and sit here and try to pass it off on I have always worked on my own. I have always created everything on my own. And, what I hate about people who say that they're supportive of me, it's bullshit because, that was that money that these people stole from me, okay? That was my ability to pay off my bills and have a nest egg for my retirement. Okay, this is why you're an evil bitch. Okay, and don't sit here and act like you're not. You're a fucking evil bitch. Okay, I'm fucking 54 years old, and you took my money. And then your logic is, oh, you know what, marijuana is legal, so she should be happy. That's bullshit, and you know it. You know what I mean? I cannot stand these people. I cannot stand these people. Oh my god. Yeah. I did not mean to get into a mood. I actually stepped away from my project so I can work on this card reading thing so that I could be in a better mood. And then I end up being pissed off. You know what I mean? I just like, there is no one good in my life. I've had no good people in my life, okay? None. Anyway, yeah, I'm really pissed, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I have my boundaries, okay? Going forward, all my newsletters, the Swan Song Manifesto. The Swan Song Manifesto logo is going to be on everything that I create. Everything, okay? My name needs to be associated with it, okay? Everything, okay? It is not, the Ross clan or anything. It's like, these people, you know what? I don't want to say this. Well, I'm tired of religion. I'm tired of it, okay? It just allows people to be delusional, okay? Or act like they have a right to do something that they're not. You know what I mean? Diana Ross has no business touching anything that belongs to me, okay? And no, it is not a fair trade for you to take everything that I made, or suck up the things that I create or get credit for or even have any money from it and then think that that's fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. You know what I mean? And you're delusional to think that it is. Bitch, you owe me a shitload of money. Anyway, so I would prefer, whatever. I do not want Diana Ross Reels coming on my Facebook. Okay? I do not need to see this woman. Okay? That goes for her children and everything else. I do not want to know these people. Okay? I'm disgusted and disturbed by the entire thing. Very disturbed. It's like, how do you, oh my God, low life. And I'm sure she was sitting here thinking and hoping that I wouldn't find out that she's been taking my shit, but I know this, okay? And what message am I getting right now? As soon as okay, she's saying, okay, the message I'm getting is that she foresees me working a job, okay? Okay, that's nice, okay? But my point is that it's why, okay, if you have the option of working a job or making a decent amount of money so where you don't have to work, okay, and you can create some sort of expansion from that, it is not fair, okay? Meaning that is not the adequate compensation from taking the money that I made, okay? So really, whether it's $5 million, $2 million, $1 million, or even $5, if it's not yours, you don't touch it. I mean, how is it in the world that you not know these things? Okay, and they do know these things, but they'll convince themselves with, these stupid things like, reasoning, like, oh, well, she's not a Christian, and also the fact that I wasn't married. Okay, where does that idea come from? It comes from marriage. Marriage, it comes from religion. Okay, so because I'm not married, Rex Laverne thought that he could just dole out funds anywhere he wanted to. No, that is not the case, Diana Ross. You owe me that money. Okay, and of course you're not going to pay it back because you're a fucking thief. Okay, stay out of my shit. Okay. And personally, when it comes, and okay, I'm not. That's a low blow. I'm sitting here like talking about how she's never been my favorite Motown singer and stuff like that. Okay, because no, she has not been. Okay, there was a few songs that she had that were okay, but no, when I think of Motown or black musicians, I always think of something a little more stronger. But and really, that's irrelevant. Okay, I'm saying this because I can't fucking reach out and stab her in her fucking neck. Okay, what she deserves to die is what she deserves to do. Okay, do not ever take from me again. Don't touch my stuff. Okay, if you can't sit here and make money on your own, I don't know what else to tell you. Like I said, I can't control what goes on and what kind of income you get from these newsreels. Okay, but you don't touch my stuff ever again. Anyway. And I also got into a message that employers are instructing and reminding employees that religion, race, and marriage status are not work issues. Well, that's very nice, okay? But I I'm beyond disgusted. Beyond disgusted, okay? I'm tired of people, it's like people want to live at my expense. You know what I mean? But they never want to give me what I deserve. And I'm tired of it. Do not touch my stuff ever again. And no, just because marijuana is legal does not mean, or in any way, and it's great that it is, okay, but other people benefit from that, okay, and it would be legal anyway. You see what I'm saying? It's like these people, they come up with their stupid things like, and do you honestly think that, do not paint me out to be some sort of druggie, that the only thing I care about is marijuana, because that's not true, okay, because by you thinking that is some sort of excuse, or you're using that as some sort of like, oh, well, she's not going to mind because she's going to have plenty of weed. That's not it. Okay? Stop making up excuses or telling me what I'm going to need in order to feel satisfied. That's bullshit, and you know it. You're saying these things so that you don't have to feel guilty or come to the realization that you're a fucking thief. Okay? I'm tired of dealing with weak people. I cannot stand you. President Trump, you keep that bitch out of my stuff. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up.